if they have to get down to Mark Sanchez, they're in trouble already because that means they've lost Prescott
and Tony Romo.
They
saw what they needed to see.
Yeah.
Tony Romo comes off the bench, takes him right down the field, and look like Tony Romo.
Yeah.
But Jimmy said, the backup's expected to go in there and do these things. Well, Romo's the backup at this point. He went in there and did it. I just think it shows the different caliber of player. I mean, Tony Romo, when he's back, he's one of these, in my opinion, a Brett Favre-type player. When he's in the game, you want to see him play. He may do good, he may do bad. You don't know what you're going to get. But he's an exciting player. I think he adds so much energy to that team. And he went in with the same team pretty much that Mark Sanchez had, but he took them in a different direction. I just think he gives a certain amount of energy and a certain amount of experience that you don't get from Mark Sanchez.
The thing that's so great about Tony in Dallas is the fact that he accepted Dak Prescott, and for a superstar quarterback,
as best you can.
Yes, I think he handled it marvelously. The question is, wouldn't it be nice to see that he would stay in Dallas? But with his contract, I know he's going to want to move on.
It's not about the. I don't think it's about the contract. I think he wants to play it, and you know he has the right to do that. Here's the thing about Dallas. What this team is special. They can bludgeon you with the run game. Dak Prescott has shown more versatility to his game. The throws he made last week were phenomenal. His ability to pull the ball down and run, something we haven't seen, which maybe we could see more of in the playoffs. But how deep they are. We talked about Carson Wentz, and John Lynch touched on it. Carson Wentz is a great young talent. But Carson Wentz doesn't have Beasley, Witten, Bryant, Williams, three deep at the running back position, the best offensive line in football. Dak Prescott has been great, but he has all the complementary pieces around him.
I'll say this, though, and I don't want to stir up controversy, but in my opinion, if Tony Romo was healthy and getting all the snaps, he might make more big plays than Prescott.
But this is the thing, though. You don't want to stir it up. But I throw it out there. But you can see the difference when a Tony Romo enters the game than when, let's say, a Sanchez or somebody like that. Because we talked about it during the games. Certain guys go in who were backups. Let's say a Tom Brady or whoever it may be, and they go in and they look at themselves as a starter, not a guy who's just filling in for a backup. They look at themselves and say, "I can play in this league. I'm nobody's backup." And that's just a different mentality. Tony has that because he's been in that position before, but he wants to start. I think he has enough football left to start.
Here's a good question. I mean, look where Dallas is. I mean, Dak Prescott's the starting quarterback. Tony Romo's the backup quarterback.
Pretty good.
What other team? Maybe New England with Jimmy Garoppolo, who came in and played really well at the beginning of the year during the suspension. What other team going into these playoffs, and that could be the two teams that might end up playing in the Super Bowl down in Houston, but what other teams have that kind of luxury? Are three deep at running back, the best offensive line in football?
Well, I think the mistake we all make, and I've sat here and listened to you guys, is that he doesn't have this. We can say that about Brady. We can say a lot of people that really say it about Drew Brees in New Orleans. I think Prescott, from the day he started, Howie, has gotten better and better and better. And I know the one thing that he has done so exceptionally well, he's protected the football. And his numbers will only get better as more experience comes his way, and that will come in time.
I'll just throw this out. You talked about, it'd be great to see Tony Romo stay in Dallas.
Right.
Now, obviously, he wants to go somewhere and start.
Yeah.
And he's not going to start as long as Prescott's there, because Prescott's going to be a great player.
He's the franchise.
But Dallas is going to have to pay a bunch of money for a backup quarterback. Now, they save about $5 million if Romo is not there. Hey, why not spend the money and keep Romo there if he will stay?
Jimmy, I agree. They can do it financially, but it all comes down to Tony. I mean,
does he want to stay?
And if Tony says to Jerry, who has a real soft spot for Tony, I need to go and I need to play.
Well, obviously, I think he said that to get into this game today because at one point it looked like he wasn't playing. And I think if you're the Cowboys and you're thinking about moving him, this was the best audition he could have ever had.
Oh, yeah. There'll be
he didn't need an audition.
The teams will line up.
I don't think so.
Well, you got to show that you're healthy. You got to show that you can still throw the ball. He showed
and
that
you guys
today.
are talking about down the road. Down the road, immediately for the Cowboys, are the playoffs.
Yep.
They're the #1 seed, so the road to the Super Bowl will go through Dallas.